Shots from the Hip presents Sports Movie Reviews. Here are Jason and Oz.
All right, we are at the cinema, and boy,
Yeah,
oh boy,
I guess.
I was impressed. I was
Really?
it might surprise you, but I was impressed by this.
Really?
Go ahead and
Okay.
lead us into it.
All right.
While I cue up the trailer.
I was really curious to see what you thought of this week's movie. This week's movie is called Horse Feathers, okay, which I believe is from 1932. I want to get the year correct. Now, there's not much call these days for movies from the 1930s. Yeah, 1932. But look, this is the Marx Brothers, okay? And I would guess that most people post Generation X are a bit undereducated on the Marx Brothers. In short, basically, it's a team of three, sometimes four, intensely funny comedians coming from the vaudeville tradition, right? So they're coming from a stage tradition, who somehow maintain their same comic character in different milieus, right? So they'll do films that are just set in different locations. They have one that's set aboard a cruise ship. They have one that's set in Casablanca. Really, the last one that they did as a team called A Night in Casablanca, which is just brilliantly funny. And in this movie, we are investigating the milieu of college football, right?
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why, we'll get into the story in just a minute, but one of the reasons why I like this film is because, I'm a sports history geek, right? You're already talking about a movie that's 90 years old. So you've already got the elements of history, just seeing how people lived in America in those days. But one of the things that I liked was it really shows you how college football worked in those days. Okay. Now, the NFL, of course, had been founded in 1920. Semi-pro football had been happening in various places in America before then, but college football was the thing. Okay. Up until the 50s, college football ruled. And much like today, many, many, many college football players were not about going to college. Okay. And one of the main plot line in this movie centers on buying, players to fill in the roster for a game at a time. This practice happened more often than you think. I mean, not necessarily at the powerhouse schools like Penn or Yale or Harvard, but even within these teams, there were a lot of shenanigans. Like, hey, you all-star from Harvard, why don't you transfer schools and come play with us next week? So things like this would happen in college football, like as a regular course. Okay, so this film, Horse Feathers, is based, well, let's say it starts with, as the Marx Brothers films often do, with Groucho Marx, probably the funniest guy ever to walk the face of the earth, in my opinion. Groucho plays Professor Quincy Adams Wagstaff, who is taking over as president, I guess what we now call dean, of Huxley College, fictional university in the Northeast. It's basically supposed to be an Ivy League school. And so the central point turns on the college team has to win the game against evil rivals Darwin College. Our president is told that the best way to do this is to go down to the speakeasy and in the times of Prohibition. And, you know, just find two big guys who used to play football and get them on your team. Right? This is the central conceit of the film. Now, we also get, as is typical, Chico Marx and Harpo Marx playing blue-collar workers, which is often their role in these movies. These guys are icemen, which you have to love this conceit because guess what, boys and girls? This is what we did before every home had a refrigerator, right? Guys would have to go around the city and sell you these big blocks of ice, right? Harpo, Harpo, who is the silent one in these movies, only communicates by way of a bullhorn, by one of these big
And
bicycle
props.
horns, right? And various props. He also plays the dog catcher, which, boys and girls, used to be done with a horse and cart. I mean, again, like, I love watching this early 20th century stuff. It's really a different planet compared to how we live today. But through various shenanigans, we go. And ultimately, what happens is, as is often the case, we have a case of mistaken identity. And Harpo and Chico are somehow mistaken for real football players. So, through a complex series of events, we eventually get down to. It's funny because ostensibly the movie is about college football, but we don't really get any real good football until the last 15 minutes of the film. However, ESPN recently put this football sequence into the category for top 10 football scenes ever in a movie. And in fact, this is the main reason why I put this movie into this segment, is because I think about this all the time. And I recently thought about it again with Friday Night Lights. What is the greatest football movie ever made? And I honestly think it might be this. It might be this movie, even though there's so little football in it. You know, the movie is just so freaking funny and just so. I mean, a lot of humor cannot survive the decades, right? A lot of humor cannot survive even cross-cultural stuff. A British humor, for example, is well beyond a lot of Americans. We just don't get it, right? Or Australian humor, really beyond American sensibilities, right? But stuff like the wordplay in this movie is still freaking hilarious. I mean, how much did they get out of the word swordfish? there's this one 10-minute segment in which infinite jokes about the word swordfish just come into play. You were talking about props. There's a tremendous sight gag based on this word swordfish that, Harpo is particularly great in this movie because he apparently he has pockets that are, the size of a semi truck, because throughout this whole movie he's just pulling stuff out of his pockets. He's got a fresh cup of coffee in there, he's got an axe in there, he's got a little baby pig in there. It's just fantastic. Just one line really after another is something unexpected and hilarious. I mean, this was right up there in terms of just surprises with Marty Supreme. I mean, you never know what's coming next with these guys in this movie. Yeah, it's just really just jokes across the board on all levels. And then we finally get to the football bit, which is just a riot. I mean, one of the first things we see in the game is, here's Groucho wearing basically a suit. He's got the helmet on, and he's just chatting up some girl in the stands, as Groucho's wont to do. Suddenly sees an opposition player, a Darwin player, going for the touchdown, puts his cigarette in his mouth, runs onto the field and tackles him with the cigar in his mouth, right? Then he joins the game. And you've got Chico, who is one of the masters of wordplay in these movies. And he's calling plays like this. Probably the best one is, "Hey, diddle, diddle, the cat and the fiddle. I think this time we go up the middle."
Yeah.
Right? This is the way you call a football play, apparently. Just like tremendous stuff. Just tremendous stuff. And one of the things that I liked is that, in all seriousness, it actually gives a really nice picture of what football looked like. Because again, these are guys playing with very few pads. They got the helmet without the chin strap, right? And honestly, most plays are about, plunges and ends around, right? And it really does look like a different game. So it was interesting to see that again, too. I really like just looking at how football was played in the 30s as well. I like it too. At one point, the big ass, like almost rugby ball. And in fact, I love that bit where Chico says, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of the way. We're going to throw a forward pass." Right? Because the forward pass was so, it was used so rarely that, you had to flag it. Here comes the forward pass. The nice news is that this film is almost in the public domain. This film will hit the public domain. It says here on January 1, 2028. However, you should be able to find this on YouTube. I think there's a copy on YouTube. I know for sure you can get it on Tubi, the off-brand, basically the off-brand Pluto TV. This is occasionally available on other streaming services. You can get it on Amazon if you like. Any place where you get classic films, you can get it there, along with all the other Marx Brothers movies, which I highly recommend. So I'm glad you were pleased with this movie. What did you like about it?
Well, I didn't know what to expect because you sent me the link to the movies, and you hadn't told me what movie we're actually going to be doing this week in our big extensive meeting that we had. So this was a total surprise to me. So I clicked the link, and the first thing I see is this square black and white screen that comes on, and I'm like, what the heck? And then I see the words Marx Brothers, and I'm like, oh boy. And of course, I've heard of the Marx Brothers. I know about their comedy. And let me tell you, this was, as you said, laughs from start to finish. It was just the actual putting together of the scenes didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. It was almost kind of all over the place, but it still was good because there was so much comedy in it that you don't really care where it's going.
Well,
I mean,
it's less like, because of, again, they're coming out of vaudeville tradition. And if you look at this movie, there's the same technique that's been in use since 1901 is still there, right? It looks like they're on a stage, right? Every scene is made so that it looks like it's a stage from a theater piece, right? And the thing is, one good way to think about this movie and a lot of the other Marx Brothers movies is it's just a series of skits, right? That's all it is. I mean, you notice how many of these scenes end in just this very weird way, right?
Yeah, with everyone walking off stage or something.
Yeah. Or like they're chasing the duck off stage or something. This duck just appears and then they're chasing it off or whatever, right? It ends like skits, right? And so really a good way to think about this movie. This is before Orson Welles. Orson Welles is the guy that really changed this. He's like, well, why don't we put the camera up here? Or why don't we move the camera or whatever? This just wasn't being done in the 1930s. And so a lot of it looks like a bunch of set pieces. But that's the thing. It's like they gave the Marx Brothers the idea, okay, do a movie about college football. And then they came up with all the skits, about college football and about
Mhm.
how, they do the scene at the speakeasy, right? They do the scene, where Groucho is meeting with the two, toadying vice presidents of the college. I love the line where it's like, okay, so we have a college and we have a football stadium and we can't afford both. So we'll have to sell the college.
Yeah, we have to get rid of
I
one.
love that. Yeah, we have to sell the college, right? Brilliant, brilliant. It's just stuff like that. Again, you just never know where this is going. It's really, really a nice movie in this respect. One thing I should say is,
Oh, yeah,
and
go ahead.
every time I watch the Marx Brothers, I'm surprised at how many musical numbers are in the thing. So
Yeah.
you can certainly be forgiven, especially in this movie, for just go past them. Go past them. They do not advance the plot at all. And none of these guys is a great singer, right? The bit where, and again, in most of their movies, they have these, right? And the bit where Chico plays the piano is worth watching. Because,
Yes.
that song is awesome. What he does is, the technique is amazing. And you can see it's really him. It's not a situation where Jack Nicholson is sitting there and then you pan down to the fingers, right? He's actually doing it. And his fingers are just like constantly moving. It's awesome. It's awesome. So you can check that out. But,
And then and then after he plays the piano, I think the president or whoever it was, the woman's husband says, "I really love great music," and Groucho says, "So do I. Let's get out of here."
Yeah, let's get out of here. That's a great line. Great line.
Oh man.
Groucho is just a master. Groucho is just a master. He did a game show in the 50s, which is just brilliant. You can get these clips on YouTube. I don't think it's What's My Line, but if you just look up Groucho Marx game show, you can watch that. And all it is just him like telling jokes to the everyman who is the player on the game show. That's it. And this guy, he's just the funniest dude.
It's called You Bet Your Life.
Yeah, that's it. You Bet Your Life. Right. And all it is person comes on and they're just doing bio stuff. They're just talking about 50s. Their life. Yeah, and he's just making jokes. And it's just like he's doing this. He's just doing it off the cuff. I promise you. You can read, I never do this, but I have read the Groucho Marx letters. I never read these correspondence books. But for this guy, I made an exception. And you read those, and they're hilarious. The guy is just, you can't stop this guy. He's just so freaking funny. Again, I'm convinced he's the funniest guy. He's the funniest guy ever in the English language. It's just hilarious. Just any mode, anything you see him in, he's just amazing. Now, he rises the material.
One thing I was curious of when it's first started showing the football scenes, some of those scenes look like actual games that were being played. So I wonder if those were actually real football scenes from games.
Yeah, they cut in some. Cut in. Yeah. All the things with the guy smoking a cigar, though. That's the Marx Brothers.
And riding the garbage can
and
through
the chariot.
field.
Yeah. The chariot. Yeah, the chariot bit. That's one other thing I should say too. There was one time when I was watching this, okay, and my daughters at the time were 5 and 7, okay, and this bit where Harpo is running for the touchdown, and he's eating bananas, and he's leaving the banana. It's the corny old joke we're slipping on a banana peel, but somehow he's producing like dozens of, and he's doing. I have never seen my 5-year-old daughter laugh so hard. This was like the funniest thing she had ever seen, and it's hilarious. It's hilarious.
Oh, man.
Harpo really steals the show in those football scenes. Some of the stunts that he comes up with. And I love the bit too where he goes and he takes the chariot for a touchdown, right?
Yeah.
He's riding the chariot for the touchdown. And this is in the old days, right? When you scored the touchdown, you actually had to put the ball on the ground, right? You had to touch it to the ground. So he touches it to the ground. And then Chico's throwing him another football, and he touches that down, and then the score increases by 6. And then he puts down another one, another snake.
And another.
I mean, again, the sight gags are just amazing. It's amazing. I don't know if this is the best football movie. I think it probably is. It's certainly the funniest. It's certainly the funniest football movie ever made, for sure. So I would recommend it. Check it out. The Marx Brothers in Horse Feathers, 1932.
Yeah. I'll put the link in the notes.
Yeah. Great film. Great film. Really funny. And I don't know. The Marx Brothers don't have any other sports movies. But if you ever get some time, if you ever have an hour and a half, these are very short films. Check out all the other ones. Night in Casablanca is really good. Night at the Opera is really funny. That's probably their best one. And, you know, all the rest, they're all great. They're all great.
Yeah. All right.
So, no history segment this week because I suck. Because I've been watching too much basketball.
Hey, no worries. No worries.
So, take us out of here, Jason. We're done. We can wrap it.
Yeah, that's another episode of Shots from the Hip, episode number 17. We will be back next week with some potential CFL final scores, maybe. Well, from one game anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
The Riders and the Stampeders.
As you know, weak, might I say, as uninteresting as preseason football in the CFL is, I bet it's better than the program.
Speaking of the program, which we did a movie review on last week, while I was searching for the trailer for that last week, I noticed there's a newer version of the program.
Damn it!
And I'm curious. I'm curious if that is any good.
Yeah, see, I was hoping that you wouldn't come across that because I wanted to spring this one on you. This is a movie I've been trying to get for the past 2 weeks. Okay. So it's called
because I definitely do want to watch it.
It's called The Program 2015, but it's not a remake, dude. It's about Lance Armstrong. It's about Lance Armstrong.
Okay.
Yeah. So someday
Obviously, I didn't look into it.
Yeah, we are going to do that one because I experienced the same thing. Right, a few weeks ago, I was trying to find the program, and I kept running into this 2015 thing. I'm like, what? They can't possibly have remade that film. And yep, sure enough, it's a completely different movie.
They can't make it any worse.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this version of the movie, except on bikes. Right, it's going to be the same movie, except it's about a bike team. Yeah, that's it. So, so we will probably do the program 2015 version at some point, but this is the movie that's been eluding me. This is why we did Horse Feathers this week, is I haven't been able to find the program for download.
Interesting, they were allowed to use the same title.
Oh God, yeah, it's a terrible title. Why not reuse it? Yeah. It's even less descriptive of this Lance Armstrong movie than it is of the football movie. You know. Oh God. Anyway, enough bad movies. We just saw Horse Feathers. That's a good movie.